I would say that mental health and physical health are tightly coupled. You cannot distinguish between the two. Mental health is one of the most important, and I think one of the most neglected fields there are. And one of the biggest researches that we created internally was the connection between the mental health and the physical, and the chronic diseases, where we see the manifestation from depression. We can see the physical manifestation. We can see, first of all, there is a tight connection between depression to type 2 diabetes, and we can see from depression to cardiovascular. We see all around of those connections.
Welcome to our series entitled the IAM Podcast, a podcast about innovation, business, and most importantly, people. In this series, we'll be talking to founders, executives, and various experts about their vision, challenges, best practices, and lessons learned throughout their journey. Let's get started. What is up, everyone? I am Moriah, your host. Welcome to another episode of the IAM Podcast. Today, I'm excited. We will be chatting with the co-founder and the CEO at Lavaa Health, ADAM AMITAI. Hello, Adam.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing great. How about you? How's today going? How's Lavaa Health?
Very good. Very good day so far.
Nice to hear that. Okay, I'm sure everyone would love to know you a bit more. So please share a brief of your personal, of your career, your experience, Adam.
Okay. So I'm a married father to Bar and Rom, 4 and 3. I started my way in the Israeli army as an intelligence officer in the cybersecurity. After that, I went directly to high frequency trading, and directly from there, we created a company that does AI for critical infrastructure in the mobile network, data center, and utility grids. My last venture is Lavaa in the healthcare field.
What made you decide to jump into the boat of entrepreneurship? What convinced you?
I think I was born with that. I've been doing that since I remember myself. I never did anything else.
Talk to us about your passion. Okay, why did you start, or why did you build this healthcare? I mean, where did you go to healthcare?
So, most importantly, it comes from a personal need, where my mother-in-law passed away in 2014 from ovarian cancer, where my father-in-law is one of the most influential people in the pharmaceutical world, and he could not affect anything, while most of the doctors that we talked with said once over and over that if we caught it earlier, we could have prevented it. And it's been 7 years since before I started Lavaa, and I saw that the need was not met, and it's still the same answers. The still same problems, still the same challenges, and I've decided that I need to pick the glove and start see if there is something to do in here, if I can do anything in order to help, and that way Lavaa was created.
Okay, I'm just curious. Did Lavaa come from anything like the name? What is the significance, or what's the story behind?
So. Two stories behind it. The first one is the most dull one, is that while thinking about the company, I've investigated through the insurance world, and I found out that one of the biggest insurance companies in the world is Aetna, which is the biggest volcanic mountain in Europe. And I've decided that in order to change, we need to come from inside, and we need to help from inside. So we need to create something, and what else other than Lavaa? And the second reason, it represents passion. It represents something that is hot, and it's changing the view, and it creates mountain. It moves mountains, so it's strong and liquid. So for me, it became the best representation.
See, okay, and yes, you mentioned about the problem, right? How big is the problem, and the current solution or the existing ones that did not answer this problem. So please speak about that.
Yeah, so there are many solutions in the market that are good, that are okay. The biggest hurdle or the biggest challenge here is to understand that in the end of the day, patients or people have to verbally explain their pain to the doctors or to the medical staff, and there is about 5 minutes of that in order to start some kind of a guessing game of what there is and start solving particularly that. The doctors are doing tremendous job with the tools they have. They're smart and knowledgeable, but it's just not enough in today's world when you have more data. And the COVID proved us that we can collect data, we can change the world. COVID was the first indicator that we can diagnose ourselves, and we don't need the doctors for diagnose ourselves. So it means that there is a change in paradigm, so we can make a difference. And then when you're looking at the medical records or even the physical shape, you would like to find out what is the best way for us to really get to know what are the current risks that we have. So our solution is different in a way that it looks in a holistic way on the patient, either it's from the medical records or from other parameters, also from insurance records. There are a lot of companies that does investigation of that, but we trying to take all the existing data, the existing knowledge, and take it into action to a more guided care instead of just insights. So everybody will win, both the patients, obviously the physicians will be empowered there. We do not want to replace them, we want to empower them, as well the providers, the insurance companies, the payers, all across the board. We want everybody to prevent sickness and that way live longer and happier life.
Okay, so you spoke about empowering patients because you can get risk scores, right? Those medical doctors, insurance companies. So could you walk us through like how you impact those people?
So there are three layers of impact. There is the immediate impact, where people will get scanned for their current situation, the current status, and will figure out things that are currently going on. That way the hospitalization will be reduced. More people will be get the treatment right now instead of when it becomes acute. In the medium range, we have the oncological and mental diseases that being diagnosed within months. So mental health problems that are degrading within a couple of months, and also oncological that has a period of a couple of months. And in the very long range, we have chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes that could actually live inside us for 3 to 5 years before it erupts, and we can actually prevent it by knowing that and creating preventive solutions ahead of time.
Okay, since you've mentioned that this is a holistic solution, like holistic approach. Yes, you have the patients, companies, doctors. So how are you taking this approach?
So essentially, we're looking at the medical records and all of the information that we can get. Our engines, every engine represents one disease. So every engine is responsible for, first of all, detecting the disease, and second of all, help in the guided care, which means it helps in the solution to guide the physicians and the clinics in order to make the change. So essentially, every engine is running independently, but they're also running together. So if there are missing indicators for one engine, it could actually rely on other engines for that risk matter. So you see a holistic view of many engines working on the EMRs all together all the time, without any patient need to go to the doctor's office. And once the patient got to the doctor's office or got called to the doctor's office, actually everything is aligned and there is a report ahead of time.
Yes, so the patients get their medical records. And what are the challenges that comes with this?
So first of all, the biggest challenge is obviously data. So data is sparse. We need to understand a lot of types of data. We need to connect to many data sources. This is the first challenge, but we have created an elegant way to create that. The second one is customizing the protocols per society. So it means that one protocol that's being used in Israel is not suited or not perfectly suited for the US or not perfectly suited for the UK. So we need to make sure that those protocols are being customized, and for that we also created tools for customizations. So essentially we built an entire tool set in order to locally customize. And the third most important is the adoption of the providers and the payers, where they need to actually use that. But in that case, we find a way to incentivize everybody to see the benefits, the great benefits they get from it. Either it's financial, when we reduce the cost of each patient, we improve the health, and also we allow the medical team to have a little bit more breathing time.
Okay, so you've mentioned that you're doing your pilot right now in the US. So could you just share with us your journey or the things that have been happening?
Yeah, so essentially when we started away, we did not expect to be so fast and so direct to a type of society. We thought very broadly on that, and we got fortunate when we found a partner that is willing to run with us and test the product in the US. In Israel we are active, but in the US actually it was less easy because we know it. We're less knowledgeable about that, so we had found a good partner to run with us, and also fortunate that it's a part of a federal program, so actually they understand the benefits of what we bring into the table. And the people over there actually are extremely open, and they have a lot of types of diseases, so we actually can learn a lot and reduce the hospitalization over there in a massive way, so we actually see the impact very fast.
You're also launching, like, aside from the pilot, you're launching your personalized guided care program, right? So I saw that post on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So essentially, in order to emphasize the benefits, the fastest way to emphasize the benefits that we bring into the table, we needed to consolidate the 13 most common diseases engines into one holistic view, which is a program. And this program comes as a package directly to the provider, and the provider uses it out of the box. And once it's being activated and customized in the guided care, which means that we also help to train the medical staff, either it's the doctors or the nurses or everybody on the staff, so they actually get the same guidance of how to treat each personal patient. So it means that the guided care means that every patient will get personalized care, but every physician or every caretaker will have the same instruction per patient.
Okay, same instruction per patient. And you mentioned 13 diseases.
Yes.
So I know cancer is the top, right? Chronic disease. So can you just share what are the most, common condition?
Yeah. So
is it the same in Israel and US?
It's most of them are same all around the world. Actually, the top two is diabetes and cardiovascular. Those are the top two, way above cancer. Those are the biggest chronic diseases, which cause a lot of other problems. But we also see a lot of other diseases like even depression. Right after the COVID, you can see a lot of depression coming on, and we see that results of that are emphasizing all around and creating other diseases as well. So it's also a chronic disease.
Okay, yes. Well, we're not yet done with the pandemic, but yes, everybody is talking about mental health, right? So, okay, let me ask you about that. How important is mental health for you, Adam?
So I would say that mental health and physical health are tightly coupled. You cannot distinguish between the two. Mental health is one of the most important, I think one of the most neglected fields there are. And one of the biggest researches that we created internally was the connection between the mental health and the physical and the chronic diseases. Where we see the manifestation from depression, we can see the physical manifestation. We can see, first of all, there is a tight connection between depression to type 2 diabetes, and we can see from depression to cardiovascular. We see all around of those connections, and this is one of the biggest challenges for us, to create those connections and those insights. So actually people will get a better understanding of the situation and will not neglect it, because it's not just a blue day. It might be something that will degrade across time. So,
well, it's really mind-blowing, like the connection of depression to diabetes, right? But maybe yes, it's really tight. I mean, the physical and mental health, right? So you're right now, where are you in your journey, and what are your plans, like 5 years from now?
So currently, our short-term plans is to deploy on a national level in the US, also in the UK. We also work towards Europe, across Europe. We work a lot about creating more and more engines for more diseases in order to have better coverage. And once we are ready with that, we want to give it to a broadest audience as we can, because we would like to save as many lives as we can. So we have two challenges. First of all, broaden the disease scope, but also broaden the audience. So right now we also look, at least I look at that the data challenge will be different in the near 5 or 10 years. I think that the biggest companies in the market, like Microsoft and others, are working on solving that. And I would really like to see Lavaa with other companies as well, going to the third world country and other privileged people, and allowing them to have engines running on their data and allowing them better health, even though they're not in the same position of a first world country. So for us, it's a bigger mission.
Yes, super interesting and looking forward. Like, the Philippines is a third world country, right? So the power of data in order to make better decisions, right? I think we need more. Technology can help that, right? Speaking of growing, scaling, so let's talk about your team. Okay, how many people are there in your team right now?
Currently, we are about 15 people. We have my partner, first of all, Itzhak Laks, has over 20 years in the healthcare systems. He used to be the chairman of Maccabi, and this is the second biggest HMO in Israel. As well, he used to be the chairman of Ayalon Holdings Company, which is the holding company for one of the biggest insurance companies in Israel. He's bringing both worlds, and he's the president of the company. We have our CMO, Dr. Nikki Lieberman, has been doing preventive care since '96 in Israel, or leading preventive care since '96 in Israel. He's a very known figure in Israel. A great doctor, is our CMO. We have the head of research, Dr. Nir Lieberman, very close. And he is the head of research, leading the medical team that we have in order to manifest it into different type of engines. And then we have our head of product and head of development. We have the Dmitry Milnikov that's working on that. We have a project manager from Clalit, Ilana, and we have many more people. And we have also people that are doing research. We have a lot of doctors inside. So it's a big team right now, and I admire the work that every one of them does and put into the day-to-day that what we do.
Okay, wow. So that's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Like a team of experts, doctors, right, researchers. So I wonder how you keep them engaged. How do you keep the team involved and connected?
Actually, it's extremely simple. They are engaged in that just like me. They believe in the mission. We see it. We see the impact that we're doing. Actually, I think other than 3 engines and the structure that I've initially created, most of the things in the company were created by the team. So, for instance, we have 2 engines that I did not expect at all to be at that stage. We have the UTI, urinary tract infections, and also the LUTs. So we have diseases that I barely can pronounce their names, but we have right now engines that early detect those illnesses, and I'm proud of it that we can do it, and we can actually predict diseases that currently there aren't prediction methods acceptable today. We're creating something new also. So we have a lot of challenges. We are also in communication with the biggest pharmaceutical world that is also leading us a lot. We have a global partner called the SB Tech Global, which are leading us through a lot of mazes in the healthcare system and the pharmaceutical system. So we have good partners, we have good friends everywhere, so it looks good.
Awesome. Okay. And they say a bad hire can spell disaster. So can you just share with our audience, like, how do you choose the right people?
So I 100% agree with that statement. First and most important thing is to make sure that the heart is in the right place. Especially today, unfortunately, in the industry, a lot of people are seeking for the money, which is legitimate. But in the end of the day, this is being grinded, and the day-to-day start to lose of its passion. And everyone in the company is in for the mission. And I see it. And we actually had one person that came by that was not, well, actually two right now, but was not connected to the mission. Fortunately, the second one didn't get hired because the team saw that. And the first one, he was on the team, but he wasn't on the mission. And within 1 month, we all felt it. Like in the meetings and everywhere, we just felt it. And we were very direct, both for both sides. I think it was the honorable thing to say, look, you're not on the same mission as we are. We believe this is not the right place for you. We believe that if you want, you can get better in a better place.
Okay, so those people, are you all working on site, or are some people working remotely from home?
So we have physical offices. But some of the people are from home, some of the people from abroad. We have one doctor from the US, so obviously it's a challenge. But everybody is like really harnessed to the mission. So I see it as a very big opportunity for all of us.
Okay, so just a question, I just got curious. Like, okay, maybe there are first-time founders, and you spoke about, okay, they're into the team, but they're not into the mission. Like, what are the early clues? Like, how do they behave? What do they do?
The indication, and this is something that I've learned throughout time, you need to ask a lot of questions. And for me, one of the biggest tools that I use, that I've learned, I cannot even remember which book was it, but we're making every Sunday morning, we're creating a meeting that all of the meeting agenda and all of the content is being pre-uploaded to a website. So everybody would read it in advance and comment that in advance. And then we have an alignment metrics. It's per section or per, let's say, per topic. And every person needs to put his alignment, his or her alignment per that. So everyone puts their own score between 1 to 5. And then we see every week, we see the trends, which one is up, which one is down, and we are handling together the one that is down. For instance, the person that was not adjacent to our mission, we constantly saw ones. Like everybody else just put ones in his column. So it's not his column, it was a general column, but we saw that he was affecting the column because the column was raised, and then all of a sudden it got all the way down and kept on the down. So we understood that something is wrong, and I asked him what is wrong, and then I started to figure out that everybody was uploading the content other than him. So we had to make sure that it doesn't happen. We talked to him a couple of times, and we saw that he's not just aligned to the mission. So
okay, did he have any like counter to that? Like, okay, no, it's just that I'm busy or doing something, but it's I'm aligned with the mission or things like that. No?
First of all, don't get me wrong. This person is amazing, and I really appreciate him. I think he's a great person, and I think that he didn't do anything that is wrong. The only thing that we saw is the level of energy that is being invested on his behalf, and it's nothing that you could put your finger on. But if you're asking about the connection to the product and the amount of ideas and involvement in the day-to-day and all of the other sections, you just feel it. I don't know. I hope it helps, but listen to your gut. This is what I have to say.
You have to put equal skin on the game. Like when you're working in a startup, like everybody needs to have that energy and alignment to the mission.
Yeah.
If you're going to put something on your name, I am Adam, your blank founder. How do you want to be known for?
It's a good question, I guess. Proud founder. I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of my product. I'm proud of what we do. And if I'll stop being proud of it, I should stop, because this is what we do.
Okay, yeah, you believe in your product. Yeah, you have an amazing team. Okay, Adam. So please tell our viewers or listeners where they can quickly connect with you.
Definitely. So either through the LinkedIn or the email. It's just adam@lavaa.health. I'm more than happy. I'm also a part of the Israeli Entrepreneur Organization, which is a global organization, and it's a great resource, and I would love to help as many founders or entrepreneurs as possible.
All the best to you, Adam, and Lavaa Health. This podcast is powered by IAMOps.io. Optimize your cloud infrastructure and CI/CD process with IAMOps.io dedicated DevOps team. Check out www.iamops.io and get a DevOps team now. Make sure to check out www.iamops.io if you want to know more about us. Subscribe to our podcast so you can get notified every time we post a new video. Thank you, and you have a great day.